Hey everybody, I'm Stephanie with Unconditional Adventures. Welcome to another episode of Unpacked, where we just kind of have a heart-to-heart conversation about all things travel related, content creation related, and just maybe things that are kind of weighing on my heart, which is kind of what I want to talk about today as we get closer to the holiday season. I don't know if you guys are like me, but I have really been struggling with just having a solid case of the blahs lately. I don't know if it's like a seasonal depression thing or just like upcoming holiday stress or something. I don't know. But I have really, really struggled with like any kind of motivation. Um, I'm going to work, I'm getting, I'm getting up, I'm getting dressed, going to work, getting stuff done at home. But just the overall, like I'm usually I'm usually a pretty big Christmas fan normally. I like to go look at Christmas lights. I like to watch Christmas movies, things like that. And this year has just been kind of like meh. And just kind of getting through it and not feeling super cheerful. Not been wanting to go out and do Christmassy things or anything like that. So it's just been kind of a weird couple of weeks, and I really have been trying to look into that on like what's going on, what has changed, what's different. And really, when I get back to kind of the heart of it, I usually come back to realizing that I'm in a place of not being necessarily grateful. And so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today, is just getting back into that spirit of being grateful. I mean, what better time than when you kind of examine things at the end of the year, things that have gone well, things that you want to do better, and really kind of look at what I'm thankful for and what I'm grateful for. It's been an incredible year in some ways and an incredibly challenging year in other ways. But man, if I really look at it, I'm just so much better off at the end of this year than I was at the end of last year. Last year, I was at this point almost divorced after a 3-year marriage, and which isn't long by any standards. I understand that, but it was tumultuous to say the least, especially at the end. And it's something where like things were just so chaotic in my life, and my travel agency business was kind of shriveling up, and I had my regular 9 to 5 job that I liked, but it just, I don't know, I kind of felt like I just was in a very unsettled place and felt really no peace and that kind of thing. So to be able to look at where I'm at now, a year later, I feel like I'm on a better path. I've got more of a clear picture of where life is headed, where the travel business is headed, where, I feel like I'm getting better at content creation. Got things kickstarted in May, and sure, I'm not, where I think, Mr. Beast type action would be on YouTube, but I'm doing well. I'm getting better every day. I'm, compared to where I was even a month ago, I feel like I'm in a much more successful place. When it comes to the travel agency side of my business, I hit $100,000 in booked sales for the first time ever this year in 2025, which I'm super proud of, and so thankful for my clients, for the people that have referred others to me. Like, it's just an awesome feeling to be making big strides in those areas. And that's, again, something that I'm really grateful for. My regular job, things are going well. I work with some really great people, and they're encouraging and they're fun to be around. And, things like that. Just same with my family. They're very supportive and are fun to be around. My friends, I've got a lot of good things going. And so I have to remind myself of that, hey, whatever this is that I'm feeling, whatever these blues or blahs are or whatever, like, I do have a lot to be grateful for. And my therapist often reminds me that I should get back to doing what she calls GLAD exercises, which I think are great. And it's a great way to put things into perspective while kind of getting your brain reset at the end of every day. And so I want to start doing that more. I'm going to try to start doing those on the end of my videos so that you guys can join along. And what do I mean by GLAD exercises? So if you take the letters of the word GLAD, so G, at the end of every day, starting with G, what's something that you're grateful for that happened that day? Anything. It could be literally something as simple as the sun finally came out today. I had that a couple of days ago where I'm at. We went through a stretch of, I think, 6 days straight with just rain and no sunshine. And the day the sun came out, my mood improved like 300%. So that was what I was grateful for that day, is literally that the sun came out. Maybe it's something, more substantial than that to you. But what is something that happened that day that you're grateful for? And then the L, what's something that you learned that day? Anything, something that you learned about yourself, something that you like learned from television, from a book, from a friend. Like, what is something that you learned that day? Big or small, doesn't matter. Just give yourself the win and tell us something that you learned that day. The A, what is something that you accomplished? I think a lot of times we get down on ourselves if we don't, make some big leap that day. But what's something simple that you accomplished that day? It literally could be, I got up and took a shower and made it to work on time, or made it to work at all. I mean, sometimes that's the day, right? So what is something that you accomplished that day? Again, give yourself credit for the small things. What is something you accomplished? And then the D for glad. What is something that delighted you? Could be a piece of cake. It could be something funny that happened, something that made you smile. But what is something that delighted you that day? And so these have really helped me when I get back to them at the end of a day saying, okay, so here again, I'm going to go through my glad exercises. What is something I'm grateful for today? What's something I learned today? What's something I accomplished today? And what's something that delighted me today? And it really kind of helps put my brain back into that grateful state of, being thankful, being appreciative for the things that I have. There are a lot of people who have have it worse off than I do. I have a lot to be thankful for. I have a lot to be grateful for. So getting my mindset kind of back to that. I'll tell you right now, when I am in a grateful mindset, the other things in life have a lot more tendency to fall into place. It puts me in an abundance mindset. You might not be that type of person that is kind of the abundance versus kind of poverty mindset, but that it works for me. Like, being in a grateful state puts me in an abundance mindset, and that's what helps things just start to work out. Whether you believe in God or the universe or whatever it is, if you can get into that thankful mindset, a grateful mindset, and sometimes that's all it takes for things to literally start to line out in your life, whether it's money, whether it's, something with your career, your job, whether it's an opportunity. Like, those things start to line up when you get into a grateful mindset and are thankful for what you have. And it also kind of puts you in that mindset to work harder because you're more appreciative of the opportunities that are in front of you and the things that you have the ability to do. And that's where I want to be. I want to be appreciative of the opportunity that I have to build a travel business, to build this content creation side of things as well. And not waste that. I'm 46 years old. I always feel like I'm running behind, right? I don't know. I realize that I could have many, many years left in front of me, but I always feel like I've wasted too much time and I'm running behind. And putting myself back in that thankful mindset makes me want to work harder, but also teaches me to appreciate the small things and the accomplishments that I've made and what I have now. It's still working towards the future, but also enjoying what I have now and what I've done, and patting myself on the back a little bit instead of being so critical of myself. So I encourage you to do that. Glad exercises, again, I think they're fantastic. It really does kind of put you in the right mindset, and maybe it does help you, maybe it doesn't, but it's worth a shot, right? To get rid of whatever these winter blues are and things that I've got, to get my mindset right and just be appreciative and grateful for the things that I have. So to all my clients who are watching this, again, I can't say thank you enough for just an incredible year. 2025 has been awesome in the travel business, and let's do it again. Let's get even bigger in 2026. And again, for those of you that follow me on the content creation side, like, let's inspire each other this year to get better, to become better, to whatever it is, whether it's weight loss, money, self-help, all of those things. Like, let's inspire each other to get better and get on the path that we want to be on. And I hope that I can inspire you when it comes to travel and really building those experiences over things and taking those life-changing trips. because they're awesome. And travel, I think, is such an amazing part of life. So I hope I can continue to inspire you with places to check out and ways to do it, and that aren't going to stress you out and help you have the most enjoyable time while you're there. So thank you for watching this. If you haven't liked my videos and subscribed, please do. Those are continuing to grow, and I'm again thankful for that and for this opportunity. And yeah, let's have a great 2026. If there's something that works for you to get yourself out of the blahs or whatever it is that's going around right now, put it in the comments. I would love to hear it. I'm all about us helping each other in the journey, making life a little bit better for each other. If you try the GLAD exercises and they work for you, tell me about it. If you want to tell me what you're grateful for, or what you learned, what you accomplished, and what delighted you, put it in the comments. Send me an email. I'll put my email in the description. I would love to see that as well, and we can be GLAD buddies together. So have a great end of the year, everybody. Happy holidays for whatever kind of holiday you celebrate. And I'm thankful for all of you. I appreciate your support, and let's have a great 2026.